Now the button has been pushed. Press play.
Alrighty. Another comedian in the house.
Yep.
Yay.
I'm blowing my nose. Don't mind me, everybody. What a way to open.
Something
what a
going
way to
around.
open the show. Welcome, welcome. Holy smokes. All right, let's get some stuff situated here. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back. Let's see. There we go. All right, throw that down there. All right, welcome back. Hello, everybody. Hello. Today is Thursday, May 9th, 2019. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans, and this is It's Tonight's Show. Tonight's guest is actor, comedian Jason Stewart. We've spent a few minutes getting to know him over there, and he's already one of my new favorite people. You'll see why when he gets in here. Very real, very authentic, and exactly what we like on this show. So it's going to be a good conversation with him. In the meantime, holy crow, it's just about the end of the lead up to Luftgekühlt week here.
I know.
Everyone's already in town or traveling. The Porsche pictures that are all over the Instagram is nutso, nutso, nutso.
Welcome, everyone.
So I guess we should probably, I've just got a bunch of videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we should just fucking play them and get through them and get Jason in here. Okay.
Cool.
Let's produce the show
It's a busy
live on the
week,
fly.
man.
All right, let's check in the East Coast here. We're going to go with Danbury Chive, Brooke and the Casman, etc. East Coast feed. Roll it out.
Mr. and Mrs. Ryan, Brooke, the Casman, and Megan Cavs driving to JFK in her brand new M3 with how many horsepower, Meg?
Oh, I don't know yet. Somewhere around 530 to 540.
Either way, it doesn't suck.
Doesn't suck.
There we go. Trying to get Brooke in the back. She's there too. There we
My
go.
arms are only so long.
Meg's pretty, she's new at this. Just want to send you some East Coast speed as we head to the airport to come visit you people on the West Coast speed. That was it. Brooke, you want to say anything? You good? Yeah, Brooke's really talkative here. Really talkative. Excited to see you guys in a few days. And love you. See you at Breakfast Club.
Bye, beeps.
Well, you heard it here first. The East Coast feed is going to be at the Breakfast Club.
Holy cow.
That's right. They're
Everyone
flying
here.
out for Luftgekühlt, everybody. It's an It's Tonight Show miracle. Brooke and the Casman will be at Newcomb's Ranch tomorrow. We'll talk all about that in a little bit at the end of the show, but plan on it. Mrs. Ryan moving right along here. Anything else for that other than? All right.
Can't wait to see everybody.
Moving right along here, keeping this train moving. Let's go behind the orange curtain. Go check in with Paul Kennel and the Auto Kramers. Press play. Roll it out.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Ryan. This is Paul Kramer calling from behind the orange curtain at AUTOKENNEL. So sorry I'm not up there this morning to enjoy Good Vibes Breakfast Club. I wish I was. But been busy day lately with all kinds of new toys coming in and going out. And wanted to let you know that next Friday, I know everyone's coming into town for the big Luftgekühlt weekend. Friday, we are going to have Fuchs Friday open house from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or a little bit later here at AUTOKENNEL. So after Breakfast Club, if people want to come down and have a fun drive, we'll be having a food truck and fun and frivolity for all the people who are out of town or local people. So you guys are welcome to come and any of our mutual friends. So we'll see you the following weekend and hopefully at Fucking Friday.
Guys are hilarious.
Yeah, all right. So with that, Paul Kennel. Now it's Paul Kramer, Kennel, Kramer, whole crap full. Paul Kennel, we will not be able to make it because we are doing an open house, our annual pre-Luft Porsche in the house open house. Ray Schaefer, VW for life, Nicholas Hunziker will all be here. So unfortunately, we won't be able to go. However, that's at 10 o'clock. I think it's 11 till on. I'm not really sure, but gosh, it's a wonderful alternative if you're down in the Orange County area or if you're staying, somewhere maybe south of the airport. Please go check out our good friend Paul Kramer and the AUTOKENNELs.
Hi, Ed.
And the Ed, of course, and the Jennifer Kramer.
Good. Oh, punch.
All right, Mrs. Ryan, it's Thursday night, and as we do every Thursday night, we open up the old TBT.
Awesome.
Let me see if I can find it here. There we go. All right, this happens to be, back to the studio. This happens to be the Breakfast Club video from Luftgekühlt last year. Just seemed
Ooh.
appropriate. We have to watch it
Okay.
again, but here we go. Roll it out, TBT. It's a beautiful day. Should be a good run up to Angeles Crest. It's Luft Weekend, Breakfast Club. You see AUTOKENNEL across the way. Somebody else, maybe even Kevin Lynch. Hard to say. Should be a great day. See you up there. That's so important. Beautiful car, man. If this isn't the definition of something for everybody right here. Here comes Radu. Radu, right on schedule. I was trying to get everybody around. Whew. We made it. It's like almost 1 o'clock. Only a few stragglers left, including them. What's up, you guys? What's up?
Hello, hello.
Everyone's full. Everyone's tired. Enough. Oh my gosh, that was a fun one. See you at the bottom. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Huge.
Yeah,
And that-
gigantic.
and that was-
Everyone was here.
And that was like a year ago, meaning we had just sort of started it. So tomorrow might be big. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what to expect.
It's a big weekend. You
I
never
don't know
know.
what to expect. All right, so that's out of the way. We'll talk more about Breakfast Club, I think, at the end of the show. But in the meantime, Mrs. Ryan, it's time to ask the question that's on everyone's mind.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
What's going on, Mrs. Ryan?
Warmer soils, warmer soil temperatures rather, are in some parts are thought to be what's making some trees grow taller. It's a lot in colder climate areas like Russia and China, like North China, and Mongolia was another place they mentioned. I just know the barbecue from college, the restaurant. So I'm not up to speed on that, but it's because the thermal layers on the floor where they grow are going smaller, so the roots are getting bigger to get more nutrients, and so the trees are growing tall. They're like 300 feet tall in some parts. So you never know.
I heard a story the other day, and I don't know where it is, but it's tree related. There were a couple's being fined $600,000 for moving a tree from their property that was under whatever. Basically, they ended up accidentally or intentionally, whatever. They ended up killing a tree that was like protected. It was like a 200-year-old tree. It was on their property, and they blah 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 whatever. And they moved it to another part of their property, but it ended up dying, and they weren't supposed to move it, so the authorities got involved. It's a whole big thing. It's like an $8 million property, but they're fined $600,000. So now they've scrapped their plans, they've scrapped their build. They want to unload the whole fucking thing in order, and it's a whole big deal. But I hate to sound like such a tree hugger, but I guess I am. It's turned into that. The world is falling apart, and I'm supporting its restructuring.
I think that's what I loved about this too. It was a whole story about like the ecology of how it's changing and how like with these trees that are older getting bigger, it's changing the ecosystem down on the bottom. So everything's shifting. So it's just neat to think about, and it made me realize how much of a tree hugger I am. So hearing you say that, I'm like,
it's so weird. It's so weird.
I never was.
No, it's weird. Whatever. I'm not a capitalist either. I mean, you can have both. Yeah.
It's the new hippie.
That's what I mean. Like when I say, "Oh, we're so hippy dippy," that implies like, "Oh, free love, man," and nobody works and nobody makes money. Like, no. We all work and we all want to make money. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's a different.
But I also want to support the ecosystem that we live in as well.
I found that there's different evolved ways of thinking that is part of.
I think we're getting there now.
And I love it.
Agreed.
There was a fossil found in China that's 160 million years old, which, whatever.
Dino DNA.
It's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur.
Of course.
But what of course, no. But so whatever. But what it did was it kind of showed the geologists like a new how it added another layer of how flight took form, how it was created in dinosaurs, like because this one was a gliding bird rather than most of the ones we know have feathers on their wings, like bats and stuff. That are articulate.
Bats have no wings, neither do pterodactyls.
Bats
wings, yes, but not feathers.
No, they're fur.
They're webbed.
Okay. Well, whatever this fossil was, that it was not webbed like a bat, and it did not have a feather area. So this is like a middle evolutionary species they found.
How about that?
Yeah, whatever. I said something about complaining is like secondhand smoke yesterday. It also, if you just want to look at yourself, it shrinks the brain.
You're talking about the story you did yesterday, how negativity is just as bad as
secondhand smoke,
right?
Yeah.
I agreed with that yesterday.
Agreed.
I think it's worse.
This just adds another layer to it of what it does to you, is that it shrink. What it does is when you repeat habits and behaviors, which I know I do often, and I'm trying to break them.
It's the subconscious behavior we all have when we're not paying attention to what we're doing. No,
right.
We're not being conscious.
And when you complain, typically people complain routinely and often, and
it's the same people
for long, yeah. And it's often about the same things.
True.
What ritualistic behavior does though in the brain, and how it shrinks the brain matter as you get older, is the brain says, "Oh, this is a more efficient way to get to this information that we talk about all the time, so I'll just go right there," and all the other stuff that you're not looking at, the flowers and the trees and the nice things, just dies away because you're not looking at it. So that's another layer to the complaining story I said yesterday. I just wanted to throw it out there that it has a lot of just stop complaining. It's hard, but just do it. And then my PSA, to find laughter everywhere. This is the most random news.
It's like a yin yang right there.
Everything is it's so hard. We were just talking with our guest before he comes out. Everything is everywhere, and it makes it harder to know who you're talking to and like what you're talking about, and like, so fine, everything's chaos, but like when you find like CNN, this is my story. CNN is getting into the comedy market apparently, which is
really
bizarre.
Everything's changing. Oh my god,
everything's changing and everything's weird, and so the inclination is like, that's political, I'm not going to watch it. But it's Colin Quinn for the first one.
Colin Quinn.
And I love Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
And he can be political, but what I like about him more is that he's thoughtful and acerbic. So it's a different kind of information transfer than like Republicans this and Democrats that. He certainly gets political. This special that CNN is launching apparently on Memorial Day sounds like another version of what he does on Netflix, like that special. But you can find ways to laugh at everything. And it opens up your mind to thinking about things differently. And if that's where you can find ways to laugh, do it. So that's my PSA. Laugh everywhere.
Nice.
That's it.
Oh, and that's been What's Going On?
Yeah.
Oh, ding. There you go. And that's been What's Going On with Mrs. Ryan. There you go. Good job, Mrs. Ryan. Took that off there.
I'm a volunteer.
All right, let us take a quick break, and we'll get our guest, Jason Stewart, in here.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason Stewart. Hi. I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm excited to get you in here.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was allowed to talk to you from over here.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get Jason Stewart in here. You're all going to love him, I guarantee it. See you in a minute.
Yeah.
More to come right after this.
Mark Wallace said, "Do you want to control the interview?" And she said, "Yes, I do."
Who was that?
Barbara Streisand.
Oh, it sounds more like Shirley MacLaine.
Well, anybody who knows themselves and knows how they look best.
Hi there, Jason Stewart.
Hi, how are you?
It's a pleasure to meet you today. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being on a little show here.
I just have to say, your house looks like a Tom Ford film.
Ooh, I don't know. Is that good or bad?
Oh, yeah. It's like so elegant and everything is so perfect. And the tiles and the floors and the furniture and everything is placed. And
you are so nice. You come, please be here every day.
it's somewhere between Tom Ford and Stanley Kubrick.
Which Kubrick, I'm wondering?
A little bit, I think, of The Shining, the way it looked. Everything was so beautiful.
Oh,
if you
wow.
took away all the scary things, it was really a beautiful house.
I agree with that. I agree with that. We want to go visit the real one. Hello.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome.
We've done all that. I don't know where to start with you. We're both East Coasters, right?
No, I was born in New York, and I moved out here when I was 9 months old. I was raised by Jewish immigrants and Brooklyn Jews.
Well, all right, I can relate to the
But
second
they're
part.
very different. It's like the War of the Roses, you know. It's like,
Nobody remembers that movie.
really?
Well, I love that
Oh
movie.
my God, it was great. Danny DeVito directed it with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
We saw the car. Remember the car they ruined in the movie, the old vintage car?
Okay, yeah.
We saw that at an auction about a year and a half ago.
I guess it is in a movie people just sort of go, oh.
Not anymore.
I guess so. But I do. I mean, I'm a movie nut. You know.
Are you a film geek?
Obsessed.
Really?
I get obsessed with.
Where is your...
I don't see the difference anymore between movies and television series. Like,
Agreed.
To me, Fosse Verdon, that's on FX now, is a movie. It's just a long, long movie.
You mentioned before that's what you're working on and you're really enjoying it? I mean, that's what you're watching right now?
I wish I was...
Really
I like you said working on, because that's what I want them to... So can you hear me?
Working through,
Where's the camera? I want to tell them...
Here you go.
Whoever is doing it, I'm so excited. I just pushed everything over. I want to work with these people so badly.
Okay.
I'm obsessed, and I don't know why it makes me so emotional. Maybe it's the time. It's the time. It's the 70s and 80s when I grew up, and but it also goes back.
Were you
to
a fan
50s.
of Bob Fosse? I mean, did you know stage shows?
I gotta say, Lenny changed my life in terms of acting and watching them in the film. The way Dustin Hoffman is my favorite actor.
Is he?
That's when
He's
really
one of mine.
fell in love with him, because I was old enough to understand his performance and Valerie Perine's performance. And then I remember seeing Madge, the gal Madge. Her name was Jan Miner, I believe, and she was Madge on the Palmolive commercial.
Yeah, I soaked in it.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm soaking in it. And she played his mother in the film. And what was really interesting is I remember going, oh my God, that's the gal from the commercial. Look how incredible she is in this film. So you don't have to be a one-trick pony. You know, and I
love that was your reference. For me, I remember the bounty lady in Murder by Death.
Oh, really?
But I love that we're both like, oh, Madge. I soaked in it. When you said Madge, all I thought was, I soaked in it.
Yeah, because commercials then were so big.
Yeah, oh, gosh. And it's all we saw. It was the same thing over and over every
Hundreds and hundreds of times. But when I saw it in the movie, I went, oh, my God, this is so great. And I realized that you could disappear in a role, and we all are able to do more, because I've always been pegged as a one-trick pony. You know, in my career.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When at the beginning, I was this crazy, out of control comedian with crazy hair and crazy pants. And
what were you doing that was so crazy?
I
mean, why was that
hiding? I think I was trying to figure out who I was as a comedian, because as an actor, I was, when I first started acting, I was a complete failure. I couldn't get a job to save my life.
What's the reason for that?
I think it's because I was gay and I didn't have a voice.
Or because you hadn't found it yet?
Well,
I
think
hadn't figured out who you were?
So who was just really...
You know what I mean? Like, how can you be everybody else if you don't know who you are to come back to?
You look at Michael J. Keaton, not Michael J. Keaton, Michael J. Fox.
Michael Fox.
Michael J. Fox, who played Alex Keaton.
Oh, Alex P. Keaton. I see what you did there.
On Family Ties. And he came on with this sort of, funny, kind of uptight personality.
Hardcore Republican. Which
is who he was sort of in life. Not a Republican, but he was sort of this, that was his comedy. And he did the same thing, fish out of water, in Back to the Future. Mm-hmm. And what was really interesting about that is that he became famous at a very young age being able to do that. And I was this goofy, crazy guy who thought that I was, sort of like, in my mind, I was sort of like Lucy or Gilligan or this crazy guy. Or earlier, I thought I was Richard Thomas on the Waltons. All these this is who I thought that I was. Yeah. And when I walked into offices, I was this funny gay guy. And gay guys didn't exist in terms of television. It was usually...
Interesting.
People like Paul Lynde or
that's
Charles
what I'm thinking,
Nelson Riley.
You're naming the game show guys.
Right. All those guys who were older and would make funny comments.
Both of those guys.
Yeah, but they were really unhappy. I mean,
Were they out publicly?
No,
or was it? Okay.
No. Nobody,
is that true?
Nobody was out.
Even Charles Nelson Riley?
No.
I mean, they just make jokes about it?
He never officially came out.
Come on.
Paul Lynde died before he came out.
Died before he came out?
Yeah, Lily Tomlin always says, I didn't come out, I just sort of sauntered out.
I've read that.
Yeah, and I thought that was sort of wonderful.
I like her, yeah.
Because you just didn't come out then. You didn't. And I didn't connect with them. I was told that I connected with them.
Oh.
So who
Somebody
I
put
was.
You in the same box.
Yeah, so then I thought this is who I was. Then the popular comedians at the time who were crazy were Judy Tenuta and Emo Phillips and Mr. Pete and all these crazy kind of character comedians.
There was always something going on.
Yes,
right?
and I thought if I spiked my hair up and I wore a silver lame jacket with zebra pants and I had little crazy catchphrases that I would be. And I didn't have this voice. I didn't have this gravitas as a person. And I thought that's how I could be. And the first thing, do me a favor. Put your hands in front of your face. Just put your hand in front of your face like this. That's exactly the way I felt when I walked into an office.
How do you mean?
Is their hand would go up and go.
Oh, you mean there was a barrier between you and them?
They just put it up right in front of me.
Oh, shit.
And I could feel it go up and going, oh, this guy, you know. I
They're
remember
just getting
Joyce Selznick.
through the next 3 minutes while you're
Oh,
there.
that was it. Joyce Selznick, who was a very big casting director, had me in for a pilot, and she had her glasses, you know, her half glasses, and she's reading some script or something, and I walked in her office, and she went, too old. And that was it.
It was just that easy.
Yeah. And then I walked into a closet and left, and she said, Jason, come out of the closet. And apparently I heard, I don't know if this is the truth, that she was a lesbian. I had heard that. So those were my biggest detractors, were other LGBT people who felt they were trying to save me by telling me to do something else or wait until I was older or, you know, or this just wasn't the place for you, because they realized that it was so difficult for them, and a lot of them who became casting people. Now casting is a profession. In those days, it was something that just sort of happened.
Our guest yesterday was a casting director.
Who was that?
Nyla Durrani.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, my comedy career just sort of went in this sort of crazy way.
But what kind of stuff were you doing when you said I was crazy and outlandish? And
I mean,
spiky hair isn't enough to be crazy and
I would make
outlandish.
jokes about my appearance. I would make jokes about my family, you know, and how I didn't connect with people. I used to talk about a punk rock girlfriend. I said, I put my hand to help her out of the car. She put her cigarette out in it, you know, things like that.
Rock and roll.
And then I had very
Funny visual.
loose versions of things that I have in my act now that wasn't really refined. You know, I did Star Search. I lost to Martin Lawrence.
How many stars did you get?
I got, I think, 3.5.
3.5 stars.
Yeah, and then I lost to Martin Lawrence. I actually stamped my foot and I walked off.
Really?
Because I thought it would be funny. This is how you were saying to me out there, you know, I would just go for it.
Yes.
I was not afraid of anything.
Yes.
And because I was like this.
That's generally a positive.
I was like Tom Cruise focused.
Yes.
Yeah, but who I was didn't exist, so they didn't want me.
Put that wherever it's not in your way. It'll pick you up. Seriously, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to be as
I'm never
comfortable as possible.
uncomfortable, and I'm always uncomfortable.
I know that feeling.
My friend Polly used to say to me, be yourself, but don't be yourself.
Be yourself, but not too much.
Yeah. And I did that show, and Martin became a really big star from it, and I just sort of sauntered along, you know.
And everybody did Star Search back then, didn't they?
Oh, no.
I mean, like, you really wanted
They say
to do
that now, you know, but there are lots of people. Like Rosie O'Donnell always talks about how she wanted to do The Tonight Show and never got asked to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But she was on Star Search.
Yeah, that was the beginning of her career.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody gets to do everything. I think there's a, you know, a pick and choose of who's going to be in what group and what team and that kind of thing. There's sections that you get to be a part of. Very few people get to do everything. Those are the chosen few, you know. It's like...
You have a very interesting outlook. I want to know you more after today already.
Oh, good. Well, we should all have dinner.
I hope so.
Good.
All right. Well, you mentioned coming out before.
Right. So
Can we talk about you and your coming out?
Yeah,
story?
I came out almost 26 years ago on the Geraldo show.
Come on. The syndicated show?
Yeah, because he was the most popular show at the time. He was right below Phil Donahue, and Oprah was third. This is in 1993. I remember doing kindergarten.
All I was doing, just so you know a little bit about me, all I was doing was obsessing and watching every talk show, including that one, during that time. I was obsessing over all of this stuff.
I love it.
Too much. I mean, I wasn't doing anything else.
You look like a
Schoolwork or
great
anything
talk
else.
show. You're white and you're sort of Christian looking, and you're like, and they all look like that. They're all the
Yeah.
same guy. There is nobody else that's on a major network that isn't white and straight and a guy.
Yeah.
You know, is there a Jew? You know, Jimmy Fallon's
It
Italian.
used to be Jon Stewart.
Yeah, but that isn't really a talk show.
Agreed.
It's more
Thank
of a
you,
sketch.
newsreader. Absolutely.
And neither is Samantha's show.
It's the same
Chelsea
thing.
was the closest, but she wasn't on a major network. I'm trying to think of it. Is there? Ellen is certainly, but she's during the day. But I don't think there's a difference between daytime and nighttime anymore because people watch.
You watch
things.
it whenever you want.
Yeah. So, but yet she is.
For me, energetically and
stuck to
tonally,
where
there's a big difference. You know what I
between
mean?
Ellen and the other.
Daytime and nighttime. Daytime from
I think her show would work just the same at night.
I know, but I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Energetically and tonally,
God, is he a
tonally
little-
speaking.
What did I do?
No. Look in here. It's all dark and it's blue. Bright white lights and people dancing around and DJ music and everything is not 11:30. Go to bed.
That's
it's
Jimmy
not
Fallon.
Johnny Carson. Right, I know, but I can't.
So he
do
should
that
be on a
either.
daytime.
I don't disagree with you.
But he's a
he
white
would
guy,
be a
so
better
the white guys
daytime
are
host,
night.
in my opinion.
White guys are night, women are during the day.
I don't agree with any of that. We're breaking this model. Breaking it.
I think so. I think it is 2019, but there's a lot of people that still don't feel that way. You know.
I don't know where to go with that.
Well, we have
You're
to.
so right.
Well, we have to go crazy. You know,
Is that what it is? We got to go crazy first and then reel it back in?
Well, I think that's what's happening now. I
Mm-hmm.
think because of what happened with Obama, we went to this really cool place of learning to get along with the world and starting to doing things together.
Understanding.
And then we went from there to this, whatever is happening now, this complete chaos and, you know, F you and sort of this these and them. And look, I mean, what I'm to understand, I don't know the exact numbers, but over 120 people or something have been either fired or quit the White House in 2.5 years.
It's
And the-
astronomical.
and
And
the-
high-level positions, too.
Yes, and all of them still are not filled, and we don't have embassies in a lot of places. And the one below him was Reagan, who had 36 people, what I was to understand, and that was in 8 years. So that's
And
yeah.
30 ago.
Oh, we just
I mean, we've had people that are
got rid of
indicted,
that.
people that are going to jail. I mean, it's just sort of crazy. But in the late 80s and the early 90s, I was a very popular middle act on the road,
Okay.
doing my crazy show. And I suddenly got really, really depressed. And I remember I got a part in Kindergarten Cop playing the hairdresser to the villainess, Carroll Baker.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know who Carroll Baker is. She was who starred in Harlow and The Carpetbaggers and Giant. She was a very big star, was nominated for an Oscar for Baby Doll with Eli Wallach.
I love
the
Eli
Tennessee
Wallach. I don't
Williams
know the
play.
film.
And it was in the early 60s. And I was so excited that I was playing, you know,
With her.
hairdresser.
Yeah.
I have a scene with her. And I'd never been in this big of a movie. We're talking really big. I had done a movie.
Schwarzenegger, Kindergarten Cop,
okay.
right?
It was
He
huge.
was at
Yeah.
the height
Right.
of his fame.
Yeah.
And I had done another movie called Cross My Heart with Martin Short and Ned O'Toole. And I played a waiter in it, and only half my face showed. And I remember that Lawrence Kasdan had written that movie. And I remember it didn't do very well. And I thought, oh, and then this film comes out, and I could tell, oh my God, this is a big one. And I went to the Cast and Crew screening, and I'd never been to one. I mean, really big time with all the money they spend and all the, you know, the hoo-ha and all the stars coming. And it was not just going to a screening, it was a whole event.
It's like a mini premiere.
Yes. And it was crazy. If that's Minnie, you know, and you know, because you used to be a publicist. So Ivan Reitman walks by me, you know, director of Ghostbusters and all these great movies, and he says, "You're still in the movie." And I went, "Great!" And I go see the movie, and I basically have 2 lines. And
Did you have more
I
when
had
you
a
were
whole
working?
scene.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And one of them was one I improvised, and the other one was, "Oh, geez." And that was the one that was on camera. Now, I was on camera during the film, but there were like 6 cameras. But all of a sudden, the film was edited, bam, 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 bam. And I thought, oh, my God, that's the way it goes, huh?
Yeah, but you still made it in. A lot of
That's
times
what
that
he
story
said.
is you're
You're
not in
still
it at
in the
all.
movie.
Yeah. I mean,
and
it really is.
And I got really depressed after that, thinking that this would be my big break. And I realized that, and I played the hairdresser to the villainess, male hairdresser. That was my, you know, I didn't have a name. And
Oh, I see.
I thought, man, I got to do something. I'm not going to get any parts. And I thought about going to New York and pretending I was somebody else. In those days, you know, I thought I'm going to just
Start a new identity.
I'm going to
Working
talk
identity.
like this. I'll be a New York guy, and I'll do this whole thing. And I really was crazy. So I talked to a friend of mine, a comedian who I had been working with a lot, Marcy Smolin, and she wrote a press release for me, and we faxed it. Yeah, faxed it, kids. Where are you? Faxed it. I don't even know if the kids know what a fax is. And all the top shows, and the 2 ones that called back were Geraldo and Sally Jesse. And Geraldo was biggest. He had just been hit on the head, you know, with a chair. By a white supremacist.
Broke his nose and the whole bit.
And they developed a whole show around me called Unconventional Comedians. Paul Mooney, angry black comedian. Sheila Kay, comedian who lost some weight.
I love that you
Who's a
said
woman.
angry black comedian.
Well, that's what they called him on the show.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was his thing.
He's a black
Period.
advocate. I wouldn't call him an angry black comedian.
Well, that's what they called him on the show. Who was the other one? Oh, Kathy. Kathy. I'm losing my mind. Sandy Church, little person. Kathy, I remember her name, a hearing impaired comedian. And
wow, I don't know who you're talking about. I can't believe
she
it.
doesn't do comedy much. She does a lot of speaking, public speaking, you know, for people who are hearing impaired.
Okay.
She's terrific. And that show changed my life. Completely changed my life. All of a sudden, I was an openly gay comic, and I was one of the first, not the first. And some of the other comics would get mad at me because people would write that. And the thing that I was the first of is I was the first openly gay comic to headline mainstream comedy clubs in a very successful way, more so than most. I had 3 really big times of selling out everywhere. I think the closest one that did that with me was Suzanne Westenhofer, but she made so much more money in the lesbian community than I ever did in the LGBTQ now community. And so she was at my heels, but certainly did much better with the women than I did with just men. In the male community of the gay community, men like to see women or drag queens. So because of all that, my first comedy album was called Gay Comedy Without a Dress. And that, I think it pissed off some people. Not that I don't love I love Margaret Cho, I love Kathy Griffin, I love Joan Rivers. I love them all, but I don't want to stand behind the skirts of a woman and have a woman speak for me.
I understand.
And when I turned 40, I think I started to become a man and realized that I loved the masculinity of men, I loved the leather community, I loved the whole idea of that. And that started to seep into my show, into my personality. And I think that some people thought that meant I didn't want to be supportive of drag queens or straight women. And I love Margaret Cho. She's bi, and I love her. She's an old friend. I always say to people, I met Margaret Cho when she was excited to meet me. That's how long ago, when I was, known and she wasn't. And now she certainly has surpassed me.
Well, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how the whole scale works.
It's a bit of a horse race, but it's a fun one. It's an okay one. We all have different ups and downs in our careers.
Yeah, I think so. It keeps going around. There's not just one race.
No,
you
but
know what I mean? It's just constantly.
You have to reinvent yourself in a different way, and it's scary sometimes, and it hurts.
I think reinventing yourself is scary. If you've never done it before, I think it is.
I've
scary.
done it several times.
Does it get easier?
No.
Really?
No.
Why is that?
Because it's still scary. You don't know what's going to happen, and you feel like.
But you made it last time, and you made it the time before that. That helps. The first time you don't know if you're going to make it or not, and then the more you do it a couple times or whatever, and it's like,
supposed to
I'm okay.
desensitize that.
I guess so, but you're in a business, and what's so funny is we were talking. It's a very emotional day for me. I don't know why. Just sometimes that happens, but we talk. I have a show.
Very fond of you already. I hope you know that. It's not just. I'm not just blowing smoke. I don't do that.
Oh, you're too cute. You're too cute and sweet. I don't know what to say now. I'm so excited.
I'm having an emotional day.
I started doing a show in Palm Springs at the Copa, and I'm going to be back there again July 13th.
All right.
And I was doing one of their local Eye on the Desert and Showbiz something.
Oh, the daily shows they have there?
Yeah, same as they have here. And one of the guys says...
Good morning, Palm Springs.
Right, same thing. And the guy says at the beginning of the show... it's 6 a.m. I'm getting there literally, so I'm on like 6:50, and they saved me to the last guest like I was the most famous one, which was like,
But you got to wait there the whole time.
But it was okay because I thought, I get to be on closer when people are actually awake. And he said, you'll know this guy, you'll know his face. You'll go, I know that guy, and I thought,
that's how they're introducing you.
Yes,
okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh wow, that's who I've become. How cool.
That guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
No, I loved it. I loved it, and I thought, okay, I got to sit with that for a minute. I accomplished
How long ago was that?
That was last week.
So how does it feel after a week?
It feels good, but I didn't really get it.
Did you not feel that you were a character actor?
Oh God,
And I'm not trying to put words in. I don't
know.
know.
I think I'm a very strong character actor. I feel like I have an incredible body of work, and I'm very proud of it. But you want to the biggest. David Paymer had gotten an Oscar nomination.
What? For what?
For appearing in the movie Mr. Saturday Night with Billy Crystal playing his brother. And that's the thing that changed his whole career. And in Vanity Fair, Miss Publicist, you know this, right? Mm-hmm. There's that page, it's called Fanfare. Mm-hmm. And there was a picture of him. Now, he wasn't a gorgeous young girl.
He's an interesting looking fellow.
And he wasn't somebody's child, and it usually is that. But they had him, and he's sitting in the middle of a floor with all these telephones around him. And he says, and it said something about being in demand. Yeah. And that was my goal in life, is to be more calls coming in than going out.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
And that's,
you want that gravity.
Yes, and that gravitas where people are calling. I had a big rush of films last year where people offered me. I think I did 5 films and 2 TV shows or something, or 6 films. And,
that's a lot in a year.
I think I only auditioned for 1. And
The
rest
other
of
ones
it-
were offers?
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
bad. That's
know.
what that guy gets.
Yeah, so it felt like, okay, there's a moment, and then things slow up again. And then you go through different periods where different things happen. And then everything comes out at once, and everybody thinks, oh my God, it's happening.
So what are you going to do to get an Oscar nomination like David Paymer? Do you remember David Paymer? Do you know who he is? There's a million things, but he's hello, hello, hello from Crazy People. He was the publicist on Larry Sanders.
Oh, then
He
yeah.
was the scapegoat on the movie with Travolta.
Well, my guys and gals, I want to be, Paul Giamatti, Philip Seymour Hoffman,
You're talking about the most famous character actors. there
Maureen
have been.
Stapleton, Lee Grant.
Maureen Stapleton is the greatest.
I mean, I'm obsessed with Maureen Stapleton.
Are you really?
Yeah, because she has a lot of the same fears that I have, and
Do you know who that is? She was the one who sold the house and Money Pit. It's Gene Stapleton's sister, right?
she
Or
won the
her-
Academy Award for. No, they're not.
They're not related at all?
It's in her bio.
In my
too.
whole life, I always thought they
Everybody
were related.
did. It's in her bio too. There's a great book that she wrote about her life, and she won the Oscar for playing Emma Goldman in Reds. She was also nominated
it.
for Woody Allen's Interior. She played the wife of the guy who hijacks the plane in airport.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
She died a while
Guerrero's
back.
wife in Airport. That's
Okay.
right. I completely
I
forgot
wanted
about
to be
that.
a character like Shelley Winters when she did. You know who Shelley Winters is?
She's a multiple Oscar winner.
Yeah, she twice. And when she did Anne Frank, and she had been a blonde bombshell before that, and when she did, but yet her first Oscar nomination was A Place in the Sun, playing the frumpy gal who.
I thought it was Winchester, whatever.
No, it was
Winchester.
A Place in the Sun, Best Actress. She got nominated for that, and I think it was 1950, and lost to Judy Holliday, I think, for Born Yesterday.
Those were the days.
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes.
And when she, 9 years later, when she accepted that role, they said, "Look, you're going to play a woman who's older than you, and you're not going to be a leading actress anymore." And she wasn't. But then she had this long, incredible career until doing Jane Champion's film with Nicole Kidman. I forgot something of a woman. That was one of her
Nicole
last
Kidman?
movies. Yeah, and she played the aunt or something. But she, until she passed, she had this incredible career. Oscar nominations, Emmy nominations, and she got to be funny on all the talk shows. And that's what I wanted to do.
I was going to say, so you're on the Gene Stapleton trajectory. All right, we've got to build this out for
Maureen
you.
Stapleton.
I'm sorry, Maureen.
And Shelley Winters, and
Maureen Stapleton.
and
We've got to build this road.
Morgan Freeman when he was younger. J.T. Walsh.
I love him. He was a great one.
He passed away. Who won the Oscar for? I'm losing my mind.
I don't think so. You're rattling out information at an alarming pace.
Who won for Whiplash? Who?
The kid?
Who won the Oscar for
The drummer?
You know,
The drummer movie?
The
Was it
teacher.
right.
Oh Jesus.
Punch
J-
that kid in the wiener. Yeah, J.K.
J.K.
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah, in his career, look, and I know I'm, behind them.
So you're just talking about late bloomers. I put
Yeah.
Lewis Black up there in the comedy
Yeah.
field. I mean, somebody who just
yeah.
kind of he hit late and then he hit big.
Yeah, and then now he's gone a little down, and hopefully he'll go up again.
I think he
I
will.
think it's because he
I
never
think
really
he's
became.
doing what he wants now.
Really?
I do.
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's a good way to say it.
No, I really I believe that. I believe if Lewis Black wanted to be on the front of something right now, he could.
Really?
I
Yeah.
do.
I don't think so. I don't think
You
it's
might
all,
be right, but
I
that's
don't
what
think
I
it's always our choice.
I don't
And-
think
and
it
the
always
wor-
is
and the
either. I'm
world-
talking about specifically with Lewis Black.
Really?
I do.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
We know him a little bit.
I used to work for them.
Oh, well, then you know well more than I do. Then, of course. I think that he
never
never
know.
really became an actor. He was always a
Agreed.
comedian with a
Agreed.
persona. So,
But he used to be a playwright, and he wasn't famous, and he was not all that
Yes.
successful. And then one day he got over his stuff and changed his attitude about it, and then he made it.
Kathleen Madigan we used to be real pal around together when we
No,
first
but
started.
I'm a big fan of hers. We
And
both are.
she used to be his partner. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, they were together. Yeah. So
I never knew
So
that.
we used to do all the clubs, and Kathleen middled for me and opened for me a couple times. That's how long I've been doing comedy. And I remember her talking about Lewis, and then we'd hear about Lewis, and he got fired constantly because he just wasn't funny in the comedy club way. He was a ranter.
I worked with him, and he got fired.
Oh, you did? Yeah. So
I worked with him on a major television show that was going to be his big deal, and after whatever.
Well, people just
they ended up recasting Kathy Bates in that role
really
over Lewis Black.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's
Oh
a
my
true
God.
story.
He just
for a TV show.
he has his own lane that he created. See, I don't want a lane. I'm the opposite of him. I think the biggest thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I was trying to put you in this Gene Stapleton, Maureen Stapleton thing, and you're
No,
even that. You don't want
well, because I think who I am doesn't exist.
What?
I don't exist in television. I don't exist in film.
So let's put you there. Let's make it.
No, why?
Oh,
Why?
you don't want to be there.
I did that.
Okay, so you want something else now. What do
well,
you want
what
now?
I did was I became this really, really funny gay guy. and I did all the sitcoms playing the funny gay guy. And then, you know,
Really?
yeah, and I think when you get
That's
old,
sort of your thing?
that's what I was.
Okay.
I did the Drew Carey show, and I did Norm,
Norm,
and
I remember.
Will and Grace, and Charmed, and Providence, and My Wife and Kids. I played Dr. Thomas for a number of episodes, and I did all those shows and lots of sitcoms that failed you didn't hear. I played the funny, same petulant kind of funny, either the sweet funny or the rude funny.
What you're describing almost sounds more like a Taylor Negron to me. That type of role.
You know
like
what's
he
fun?
get those roles.
But he never acknowledged that. He never came out
What?
ever.
Taylor Negron wasn't out of the closet?
No.
I knew him personally. I didn't know
you
that.
just outed him.
No, and we've talked about him on the show before. I mean, I was invited to his house, and
Never.
he thought perhaps.
Never.
Wow, I had no idea.
But he's
sort of-
not
Oh well, then I feel
closeted.
terrible. Well, he's passed away since. but
Well, what would you consider closeted?
if you're
He
not
was
out.
ambiguous.
Fine.
He was, you know.
Some
to-
people don't
he was-
like to make their life about their sexuality,
Well,
so they don't
he-
talk about it. And
By the way,
but
either way-
but that's not true because he would always bring boys around with him, and he would.
That's-
So he did make his life. He was just sort of.
You're describing to me a Paul Lynde or a Charles Nelson Riley, who they
No,
were
because-
very clearly.
No, but they did it differently. They were doing it in plain sight. They would just say it to you and just say, you know, Jim Bullock, who since
Jim
has come
Bullock.
out, he's a
He's
friend.
since come out.
You know, when he
Monroe. I used to love Jim
but he
J.
didn't come
Bullock.
out until after the show, and he
But
didn't-
on
he-
Hollywood Squares, he was out, right? I mean, I
trying
feel
to
like that
remember.
was years after.
He
Too
came
Close
out
for
because he
Comfort.
was arrested, you know, in the papers. That's how
For-
he came out. I believe. I could be
for
wrong.
something sexually.
No, for. I
It doesn't matter, but
I
I mean,
hate
why
to
would
say
that
what
come
it is because
out?
I don't want to misstate. And he's a dear friend, but he got outed, and he had to do it himself. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want you to
think.
say
I
anything.
could be
I don't
wrong.
want you to say anything wrong, but we're big fans.
I love Jim. I just saw him in Palm Springs. He lives there now,
Oh,
and
lovely.
he's doing summer theater. He's doing. He's a big theater guy, musical theater guy.
He's incredibly
He's
talented.
done
I was a big
incredibly
fan.
well. He reinvented himself with Hairspray. Played every role, but
On stage?
yeah, he played the utility roles, the 4 character roles. He played the father, and then he played Edna.
How the hell do
He
you pull
did?
that off?
He did it. He's
That's so
a
impressive.
great singer, yeah. And he toured. He was on Broadway, and then he toured the country doing it, and he did that, and Hairspray, and Kinky Boots. He played the accountant.
But you know what I'm. If you're doing a film that way, you can do all the parts like a Eddie Murphy or somebody. But when you're doing
Yeah,
it
they
on
can-
stage, that's
You-
tough.
They
Piece
call
it
it the
together.
utility role. They do that in a lot of plays where they have you do 4 or 5 smaller roles.
Oh, okay.
The same person because it's cheaper.
Just to keep the head count down.
Oh yeah, he did that. I'm trying to think of who else. Taylor was just, you know, God bless him. You know,
Yeah, I never knew
he
that.
was
I didn't
so,
mean to
We became
go there.
friendly in the last years of his life because I didn't know this, unbeknownst to me, because I never would watch comedy. I would be afraid to stay in the clubs and people because the guys were always teasing me, and it was like high school, you know. And I was always afraid of everybody, afraid that I was going to get into trouble or get fired or,
Wow.
you know, because I had been several times. I'd been fired off of several gigs on the road. And before I even came out, you know, because I had no power. And then when I came out, somebody wrote in the paper, since Jason Stewart has come out, he's become much more masculine. And when he was in the closet, he was much more feminine, which I thought was interesting.
Ironic.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because in the closet, you have no power.
I was just going to say, I feel like you rose above.
Yeah. So then when the sitcom era ended, I started really working on going back to being a character actor and started working in independent film. I created my own stand-up special called Making It to the Middle, sold it to the big gay network at the time, which was Here TV. That was the first one 10
Okay.
years ago, and they just re-released it
Oh.
in November.
So that's cool.
So we re-released it, so that was nice. They gave me a little money.
Very nice. Always nice.
And then social media came.
Ah.
And that
How are
just-
you on the social media?
I didn't understand it when it first happened.
Change the game.
Pardon?
Change the game. For everything.
Dane Cook, I blame him for everything. He changed everything for everybody. I mean, it became this whole thing, and he's a great guy. I love
that
him.
thing, that tour, that thing. With
I
the
don't know what-
fingers, it was the logo of the tour.
You
It
know
was
what?
that
I
he
remember
became
that.
really big in colleges, and that was when like instant messenger was a thing, so we could talk to it like.
Well, that was on Facebook, right? Because I got
Before.
into Facebook when I was doing colleges, and it was strictly for colleges. And remember,
It was at first.
my
yeah.
agent said to me, "Oh, by the way, my son is in this world, and 3 or 4 months, MySpace is over. We're all going to Facebook." I
Yeah.
said, "That's not going to happen. We're
Yeah.
all on MySpace." how can this happen? And it just happened.
Sure enough.
Within a couple months, we
Yeah.
were all on Facebook, and now we can't get off of it. And
Are you going to delete yours at any point?
I don't know.
I feel like I want to because of
don't-
the political stuff,
I don't.
but I haven't done it. So
I don't
I'm
do
no better
that.
either.
My fans are not like that. I very rarely have any of this go on.
Oh, good.
So I'm not a part of it.
You've got your own little bubble
Yeah.
on the social media. I think
Yeah,
if,
and
you,
I don't-
can, if
I
you can
don't-
achieve that, that's the way to do
I
it.
don't talk about really, really personal things. A lot of people I know do. I'm not judging them. It's just not my choice.
Mhm.
But for me,
Did you say you don't talk about personal things? I
Not
think you're
really.
being very open here today.
no, there are things I'll never talk about.
Okay.
You know,
It's all the stuff we talked about before the show?
Not my daily feelings of what's going. Today I felt really blue, and I broke up with this guy. You know, no, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Not going.
Even on your own show, you won't do that stuff?
Probably not
Okay.
completely until I processed it.
Because we were talking about that because we'll get to that maybe now if you want to. You've got your own show coming up.
Well, we'll talk about that, but I want to tell you about this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this is the thing that I wanted to explain.
sorry.
It's okay. No, I told you I control the interview.
No, I'm
Told you at
glad.
the beginning.
I can't tell exactly where we're going, so I'm
Well,
letting you do it.
because
Let's do it.
this
I
is
love
really
it.
important in the trajectory of my career, is that when social media came, I didn't understand it, and my fans didn't understand it. So I couldn't find them; they couldn't find me. Because I used to blame myself and think, I don't know how to do this. So I thought, okay, what do I really, really, really want to do more than anything? And it always goes back to being a great character actor, the best that I can be. And I got a job. My friend Adam Belanoff was the executive producer or writer, producer, I can't remember, on The Closer. And I had been after him. I said, if a part comes up, let me know. So a part came up on The Closer. I went in and auditioned. It was for a white guy with a big beer belly, and they wanted someone very middle class, very, guy, what would you call it? Like a truck driver kind of guy.
Okay.
And I was playing the manager of a storage facility. So I didn't know what to do, and I see all these guys, very white, patrician, Christian looking, and I thought, I'm just going to go in there and just do this character.
Okay.
So I did this character that I worked on in class. I talked like this, and I wanted to know, and I was very argumentative. The scene starts off, and I pretended like I'd been sitting there for 2 hours waiting for Kara Sedgwick to come in. What's going on? I've been waiting here for and I made it seem I had opinions about everything. I made choices on it, and they just thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Ate it up.
Changed my career. All of a sudden, I went from playing funny gay guys to prissy managers to annoying Jews. And I never let go of the other parts, but I just kept adding other characters. And then from that, I got into this really big film called Tangerine.
Okay.
That was the first film to use the iPhone and do a whole movie. It went to Sundance.
Okay.
And then I did The Birth of a Nation, and my whole career changed. In 2015, I did it and came out in 2016. And I played a white heterosexual Christian plantation owner in 1831. Yes, it's called acting. And that changed everything. It just, all of a sudden, I was the character actor that I wanted to be, and people saw me differently.
Was that because you saw yourself differently, though?
No, I never saw myself the way people saw me. I never have.
No, but you didn't see yourself differently after that?
No. I've always thought I was interesting and talented, and I could do a lot of things. I never felt like I couldn't do stuff. People said, was this a big challenge? No. This
didn't
part
mean
was the
that
part
so
that I had
much.
worked on for years.
I guess I mean more of the accomplishment of like, oh, I wanted this so bad, and now I'm getting there. I'm having it.
Yes. I wrote a piece for Huffington Post at the time for the Huffington Post called Coming Out in Full of Gratitude.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
I wrote that piece. It's on my Huffington Post page on my website, which is jasonstuart.com, S-T-U-A-R-T, Stuart.
Beautiful.
And I wrote a piece, and I sent it to the whole cast and crew. And right before we went to Sundance, and it was all about my dad and the way he taught me to keep showing up no matter what. And when you go
such a
to
great
the
lesson.
interview, what you do is you wear a tie.
This is your dad talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let them know you mean business. Now, my father was a Holocaust survivor, not the camps, but the ghettos and the
You made it out.
yeah, and the barns and all the other places and the shtetls and all the things that you were locked up. It was like what Trump is doing now to the Hispanic people, putting them in basically cages.
Yep.
And now my father lived like that for 4 years. Another 4 years he ran from the Nazis. So he would say to me, what you do is you do that. Let them know you mean business. Wear the tie. So I don't always wear a tie, but I show up, like I said, I show up totally prepared, and then you just tell me what to do, and I can change. I'm a poo-poo platter of ideas, and you pick and choose, because I don't really care which ones you use.
Agreed.
I want to just be a part of it, and I want to be prepared and malleable. And the funnest thing is to work with a director like Nate Parker and go, what's your vision, and how do I fit in? How do I help do that? I just don't want to be cut out.
Right. Right. Wow. All right. Well, now that you're an established character actor and feeling good about yourself, you've also done some podcasts, but you're going to start a new radio thing as well.
I think
Can
so.
we talk about that?
I can't yet because
I
I haven't
see.
announced it, but I think that's going to happen.
I hope it does. I think we need more of you.
Well, we'll see.
I think we need more of you not doing characters. I want more of this guy.
Really?
I do.
Yes.
She does. That's two.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting. I would love to be able to do, more talk shows and stuff. So we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully the book will bring that too.
Yeah,
I
I
have a
mean,
book
some
coming
people
out.
like to be the professional talk show guest, and you mentioned like,
Oh, I
that's
love
kind
it.
of what you want to,
I want to be a character actor and a talk show guest.
So if that's the case, then I kind of get it, and then don't host your own. But I think you could definitely. I mean, you probably know you
I could do
it.
both. I'd love to do it. And especially because it's so you can do it on your own thing and your own time.
Can you tell me about you've done a couple podcasts, right?
I've
Can
done,
you tell me about the one with your mom?
Well, I've done around 5 different shows.
Okay.
The one with my mom is called "Shut Up, I'm Talking." So I grew up, and my whole life was like that, all the time. Everybody in our house, we're talking. I'm trying to talk here. You didn't hear just the way we're talking right now.
Yeah.
You got to get in with me.
It's the volume.
Yeah, it's always.
I won't fight. I was an only child, and my parents were separate, so I never had to fight.
They
them.
held your hand. Nobody held my hand.
No. Nobody was around. It was me
Yeah.
to figure it out on
So
my own.
that's why you're a talk show, because you talk and no one had to be there.
Rupert Pupkin at the basement. That
Oh
was
yes, it's Liza Minnelli. Mama. My mom said, so we started doing this show, Shut Up, I'm Talking. So when I wrote a book last year, and
it's out, right?
No, it hasn't come out
Oh, it
yet.
hasn't? When's it coming
It's going
out?
to come out in June. We don't have an exact date because
Okay.
we're doing all the things you have to do, and I don't understand what have to go down.
Understood.
But we're
The
doing it.
publishers are doing their
Where
thing.
now we had the lawyers come in and check everything, and they're cutting out every reference that I made that, that you can't
gotta
get the
clear it
rights
all,
to,
yeah.
and they rewrote some stuff that in a different way, and all this stuff to make it legal, and
So much work goes into all this
Oh
shit.
my God,
Isn't
I
it
didn't
crazy?
realize it.
Isn't it
I
fucking
thought
nuts?
I write the book. That's enough, you
No,
know.
there's a whole other world. I say it all the time. There's a whole other world outside of the creative thing that no one cares about.
Yes, I just don't care. I'm done. I'm ready to go promote the book right now. And you can go to my website, which is jasonstuart.com, STUART. And on the book shopping page, you can send an email to the email there. And then
to get updates on when it comes out.
you can just send the email, and I'll keep you on a list. And when the book comes out, I'll send an email specifically to you, and you can buy it.
Did you say the name of the book?
It's called
does it
Shut
have-
Up, I'm Talking.
Oh, same thing as the podcast. Okay, great.
It was going to be called I'm Not Barbara Streisand.
That's
but
what you said.
they
Gotcha.
said it was just too much because we don't know if she'd let
You'll
us
never
use her
clear
name.
that, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're famous, you're allowed to do that, but I don't know. They just didn't want to do it, so I thought and I
It's the
could-
different levels. If
I
she
could-
did it about you, I think it'd be no problem.
I guess so.
You know what I mean?
Wouldn't I love that?
Yes.
I'm Not Jason Stewart by Barbara Streisand.
Are you a Barbara Streisand fan?
Oh yeah,
And you mentioned Rosie O'Donnell before. Were you a Rosie O'Donnell fan?
very much so. I worked for Rosie once, and what I love about Rosie the most is that she's an incredible supporter of other artists.
Okay.
So much.
Well, art in general, yeah.
Yes, but no other artists and other people. She's a cheerleader.
I used to
And-
work on her daytime talk show, and
Oh,
she
you
might be
did?
different now. But yeah, at the time, that's why I brought up Barbara Streisand. She was the biggest Barbara Streisand fan I had ever seen or heard about in
I
my
had the
entire life.
same reaction growing up as she did. I had the same, and especially for
The imprint?
Yeah, well, you guys are too young to probably get this, but she was the Lady Gaga of her time.
Oh, sure.
She was
Yentl, too.
in the movies. There was Barbara Streisand, Jane Fonda, and then everyone else. It's like there was Hoffman, Pacino, De Niro, everyone else, and that's the way it was in those days.
Okay.
They were just the template, and she was so big, not only in movies but in music, and she sang like no one else. Her voice was so distinctive.
Do you think she's a good actress?
Um,
I doubt she'll ever see this.
yes,
You do?
yes.
I don't think she's a bad actress, but I don't know about all the accolades.
What have you seen?
Yentl and the one with where she lives with the other guy, and I mean I've seen most
The
of
one
the
where
movies
she
way
lives
back.
with the other guy?
What am I thinking of?
Prince
one
of
you like? Oh no, Prince of Tides. I've seen that one too with Nick Nolte, of course. That one specifically
Did you
is maybe
see-
what I'm talking
did
about.
you see-
It wasn't that great.
Well, she's not the lead.
All right, but she still has quite a big part in it.
I think she was terrific in that.
Okay.
It certainly was the first movie about
Of the
child
two, I
abuse.
preferred the girl from Goodfellas in Sopranos as the therapist.
Oh, interesting. This is hers. Hers is romance. You know, she does romance better than anybody, and it's the hardest thing to do, and you can't see it. I mean, you look at Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, and you can't see it. You can't see the lines. You can't see the connect. There's no way to see the connection in anything. And if you read the book Prince of Tides, and I read it after I saw the movie, and I thought, she had line at the end where she says, "Oh, you Goyish guys are killing me."
Yeah.
She put that in.
I
The
believe
nails.
that. I believe that.
The
It wasn't-
nails, she put that in. It's all in the book. The
Oh,
woman- the
so she
perfect-
didn't put it in.
She did. No, it's in the book. She didn't put it in. She played the
Wow.
character. The nails, the hair, the perfect.
I would have thought that
woman,
was her as well.
Big New York thing. The whole. She was. She did that. So she played the character, and she cut the part in half, and made him the lead of the movie. And it was one of the first
Interesting.
movies about.
Did you know any of that previous to reading the book, or was it
no, I
after
read the
reading
book after.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't know any of that when you watched the movie. It was only
No.
reading the book that you realized.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I hadn't read the book, and
Did you read the book before?
after? After.
I'm having a hard time with this one.
After. So you don't really know her work to know where to choose. Did you see Funny Girl?
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
Come
Oh,
on.
that's
That's the one I was
That's
thinking of.
one of the most exciting screen debuts I've ever seen.
Okay. Then maybe it just wasn't my time. Maybe I was too young at the time, like you said.
Did you see The Way We Were?
Yes.
Did you see What's Up?
But
Okay, so you're not a romance
I was a
person.
kid. You know, I saw all of these movies, but when
What's
I
Up,
was a kid,
Doc?
Nope.
Funniest movie
never heard
ever
of it.
made.
Never even heard of it.
Did you see-
Eh.
Oh, it's probably one of the
I
funniest
always
movies.
thought What's Up, Doc was a nod to.
Yes, it is.
You know,
It's a joke in the film.
but who am I thinking of?
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny was doing it. But I always thought that he was doing a rip on. Never get the Groucho Marx.
It is.
It is okay.
Yes.
I'm
Did
sorry.
you-
My
did you s-
my recall is not as quick as I'd like it to be today.
She's an incredible movie star.
I understand that, and I agree with that
And
because I saw her come in
Did-
on the 8th floor of 30 Rock when we here's this is the story I wanted to tell you.
Oh,
She
please.
was such a fan. Rosie O'Donnell was such a fan of
Oh, so you were there the day she did that?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Beyond that, I was there the whole week. So
Yeah.
here's what the rest of the America doesn't know.
Please.
We had to completely reconfigure the set of that show for Barbara's arrival because, as you recall, it was a desk and terrace type show. And the desk was here and the chairs were over here, just like Letterman and Carson and every other show. Barbara only gets shot from one side. So we had to completely reconfigure the set, put the desk where the chairs were, put the chairs where the set was. That's very easy. That's furniture reshuffling. No big deal. We had to completely
Lighting
redo everything. It was a whole big deal.
She insisted on it?
I don't know, but it was done. There was never a question about whether or not it was going to be done. It was this is
What
what
would
we're
you
doing.
like?
It was just this is what we're doing, and they flooded the entire 8th floor hallway. Have you ever been to Saturday Night Live?
No,
or, you
never.
mentioned Donahue before. This used to be
Never.
at the Donahue
None
studio.
of those shows.
The entire hallway, which is a long hallway, was it's hard to put a number on, thousands and thousands and thousands of roses, white roses.
That's
Because that
nuts.
apparently was the flower, and I could have the flower wrong, but they were white. And that was the flower that I don't know who wanted it, whether it was Rosie was doing it out of respect for Barbara or whether Babs wanted it and insisted.
I'm
I don't
assuming
know.
Rosie wanted to
I think
this
it's
to
that.
be the,
I think it's that. But there was so much work that went into it. And then the show doesn't even look like the Rosie O'Donnell show. It's just that because something's wrong about it. You have to flip the image, and then even then it still doesn't work. It was just a crazy, crazy day. And I've never seen so many people crying over, I can't believe, like they met the Pope. The kiss in the ring, the whole big thing. So I guess, and I was
Well,
probably...
you either get it, you don't get
I was
it.
probably 17 years old when
Oh,
that
wow,
happened. Maybe
okay.
18, something like that. Maybe 18. I don't remember.
Well,
I was a young kid.
Because you're like Tom Hanks. You're like, you know what I mean? You're like Jimmy Stewart. You're
I'll take all of those.
You're the every guy. You're told when you grow up that you could be anybody. You're because of the way you
supposed
look.
to be told that, right?
Yeah, that's the world tells you that.
Oh, I see.
Whether you feel that way or not, you're told that from the beginning. You could be president.
So because I'm what, straight, white, male?
You have white privilege. I also have white privilege, but you have it more because you're a Christian. You have that look, that patrician look. Whether you even are Christian, you look Christian.
I was going to say I don't know what I am,
but you look.
But I have
that,
a
you
certain
look that way. And
So
I remember
people assume.
when I was doing the award circuit for Birth of a Nation. I remember going to an award show. The publicist invited me to that. They were giving Tom Hanks an award for being the everyman. Now I'm a major Tom Hanks fan. I think
agree with you here.
he's an incredible character actor and a leading man. But why is he the everyman? Why am I not the everyman? Why are somebody of color not the everyman?
I don't think that one has to do with looks.
I
Do
think
you?
it does.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, because he's a handsome guy.
I don't know if I agree with
When
that.
he's thin and he's got his stuff together, he's got that look that girls love. He's very.
Do you agree with that as a girl?
I
I think
don't
of Tom
think he's
Hanks as
hot.
being very awkward looking.
He's a major movie star.
Agreed. But now I
But
feel
he
like
ha-
you're doing the same thing you did with Babs, where it's kind of like they've established this whatever, so now we look at them differently.
You don't think so?
I don't look at people differently, whether they have made it or not made
Not
it.
you. I'm just saying the perception and where his career is and how the opportunities that he's had.
You could be
He's
right.
He's had these incredible opportunities, and I think that's what happens is when you have that opportunity, and he obviously has the goods to get into the door.
That's where I'm at. I think he's got the
Yes,
goods.
but you don't get to go in. Like
I see
my
your
friend
point.
Dalila
I see your
Ali
point.
Raja explained that to me because I said, I'm gay and Jewish. How could I have white privilege? And I said, she says, she's black.
It's perception, right?
She says, because you're allowed in the door. I'm not even allowed to get in the door. And then you talk and say who you are, and then they reject you. So you get to be rejected in person. I don't even get to get up to the plate. So in a lot of stances, when people found out who I was, I didn't get up to. I still don't get up to the plate.
When you audition and you said, too old, it's the same thing, right? Just shut it down.
Right. And what I was told later is that she said that I was light in the loafers, which was the expression for being gay.
I've heard
at
it.
the time. So all
Or as
these
Mr.
things.
Roper used to say,
Exactly. No,
people don't get that reference either.
No, I remember. it.
Norman Fell on Three's Company, everybody.
Great character.
Another
guy.
one.
But not
Mr. Funnyface.
not really a character actor.
He only did that one thing.
They all did that, and all those people who did that are in the movie What's Up, Doc. You have
Oh,
all
really?
those character
All right,
actors.
so I
in
gotta
it.
watch this, right?
Madeline
That's what you're
Kahn.
saying. It's like,
I want you to
Madeline
do
Kahn I love.
Madeline Kahn, Mabel Anderson, Kenneth Mars,
And it's
Randy
What's Up,
Quaid.
Doc. What, really?
Randy Quaid's in
I think
it?
it's his first big movie.
God, I love him. Such a nerd.
Oh my God, Austin Pendleton. I think the guy Fritz Feld. That guy. Remember him?
Yeah.
I think he's in it. I mean, it's just one of those movies that have all these great character actors in it that do, but they're not character actors. They're the people. Character actor meant not attractive. Now a character actor to
I always thought
me,
is that what it really meant?
it meant that you
they
were
had character in your face?
yes, you're a character face.
Not that you could go
Exactly.
not be a lead.
Yeah.
You look more like me than look like you.
Who knows what we all see in the mirror, man?
Well, but how you're perceived. You know what I mean? How you're perceived.
That's a tough one. How do you align with what people perceive? How do you know what people are perceiving? Because I struggle with that because I know what's going on up here. I don't know what's
These
going
are
on
two
in everybody
separate
else's
things.
minds.
These are two separate things. So what I'm talking about is what I have learned as an older person in my life, how you're perceived and where you are allowed to, what lane you're allowed to walk in.
Okay.
And then there's how you feel about yourself, which is you don't feel like the guy, obviously, because you've said it several times, whether you feel that you're this guy.
Right.
And then there's
I don't feel that I
and
align
then
with
there's
whoever other
what
people
the
see.
reality is. Like a lot of people say to me, how can you not feel the success that you've had? And sometimes I just can't feel it.
Do you have an answer to that?
Oh,
Why?
yeah, because I've worked so hard. It's been such a hard road.
So you often look back and you see all the hard work.
Oh, my God. If somebody showed me a film like in Defending Your Life that Albert Brooks from
That's
said,
one of
"This
my
is your-"
favorite movies of all
Love
time.
Oh, yeah.
Of all time.
This is your life. And I would watch it and go, oh, my God. Oh,
Well, you
oh, my. Hey, wait.
now we should bring back that show.
Oh, God. I thought, I would be way too scared to do it. I would have been talked out of it, and I would never have become an actor or a comedian.
Well, Jason
Especially-
Stewart, tonight's the night because this is your life. Bring them in.
Remember that
Do you
show?
remember? Of
Oh,
course I
love
do.
that
I love
show.
that show too.
What
I
a-
made her watch the Betty White episode
Oh,
recently.
the Anne Margaret one is one I love. She had so much hair piling on her head. It was
I didn't see the Anne
the
Margaret.
Anne Margaret one is great. It's
Recently,
really
I
good.
watched the Betty Davis and the
Betty Davis did it?
Yeah,
Is it online?
yeah, they're on YouTube.
Oh, my God. It was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
And you bring back people you didn't know and didn't want to see.
That was the Yes, there's some people they didn't necessarily like,
or that they didn't really remember,
or that they weren't the person who was coming back to show wanted to be on TV. Like, I was your third grade teacher from the whatever, and then you get out there and they're like, my third grade teacher was Mrs. Smith, and I don't know who this guy is.
This is the one that tortured me.
Right.
You know.
I'm sorry to
It's okay.
get off there, but aligning the three things to me does. It's important in life, and I was one of those people who wasn't aligned really in any way with a mind, body, spirit type situation.
Obviously
working
not.
towards all these different. Obviously not. Is that what you said?
Yeah, obviously not. From what you're saying, you weren't aligned. You were, but come on, you were working at 17. You were working at 30 Rock. Do you know where I was at 17?
No. Tell me where you were
I
at
hate
17.
to tell you that. Oh God. I remember that I had sent in my pictures to all the TV shows that I liked at the time, like All in the Family and Maude and Jeffersons, and I got a call from the casting director that said
Those
we
were
wanted
all
you.
Norman Lear, weren't
Yeah,
they?
we wanted you to be. I love those shows when I was
Me
a kid.
too.
We wanted you to be on Maude. You would play this usher in some episode about her being in a game show.
Maude was Dorothy from.
And it was a silent bit, and I just would walk her up or whatever, and I thought, oh my God, this is so great. And then
Me and B. Arthur.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I remember because I had watched I'd gone to see all the shows at CBS, and because I lived near there as a kid, and I remember seeing B. Arthur stand off to the side, and her leg was shaking, right before she was gone. And I thought, my God, she's nervous, because you could see this, where people would be entering and exits. You could see.
They used to do it in the same studio as Price is Right now, right?
Oh, is that it?
I think
didn't
so.
know that. And you could see the set. You can see them enter from the outside. She was coming into the Finley home, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God, it's okay to be nervous."
Oh,
so that
she was in front of all of the people in the audience.
She was off to the side, and I happened to see her. I don't think, you have to sort of go like this because you're the whole. It's like if you could see what was going backstage of a play.
Yeah.
And then I called them and I said, I'm 17, and because I was in this acting class at the time that had a career day thing where people came in and said, I'm going to need a teacher because because I'm under 18 on the set, and they said, oh, okay, well, we can't give you this part, but when you're 18, call us, and we will give you a part. And a day after I turned 18, I called them because I wanted to wait a day.
Oh yeah, well, don't want to be too ambitious.
And I called the office, and they called me a couple days later, and I was on one day at a time, and I played a student.
Bonnie Franklin,
Yeah.
Schneider.
Yeah, and God, what they did.
Yeah, what's up, Mrs. Romano?
And what they did to that show and made Schneider this gorgeous guy and took away the funny. Oh, it just killed me.
What?
Schneider on the new show.
Oh, I haven't
version,
seen the new one.
He's gorgeous.
Oh, I
Schneider
see.
is this gorgeous young guy.
He was he used to have the cigarette pack and his rolled up in his sleeve.
He was just the character was one of my favorite TV characters.
So
He's
he's
a real
not as
sweetheart.
funny now?
Well, it's different.
Yeah.
It's just
He
not,
was funny and sweet before.
It's
a
not
little
this-
bit crass.
Yeah,
That
and he
was
would
pretty.
have this thing with the mom on the show, and it was really sort of cool. And
I know exactly what you're talking about, even if nobody else does. I know exactly what you're
Well,
talking about.
yeah, you have some older fans.
Did you ever see All in the Family get taped over at TV City?
Yes, I think
That's
I
the
did.
coolest.
I saw Lucy. Here's Lucy being taped. I saw
a
Sonny
good
and Cher.
Nice.
I saw Carol Burnett. I used to go there because this is how crazy I was. I thought they would find
Yeah,
me.
you're not alone. This is the
You're-
childhood thing. This is
Yeah.
what we all did as a kid if we were obsessed with the shit way too
I
early.
really, it was if anybody's watching, I should not have gone into this business. They didn't want me. They told me to my face, you're wrong. Everything about you is not what we want.
And that's all the time we have.
But that's the truth.
Then I hope you feel pretty good about yourself.
Oh, I do. It's the tenacity. It was my tenacity, and I've been written about in that way a lot.
As being tenacious?
Yeah, and I think certain people didn't like it, and some people thought it was great.
Okay.
I mean, Nate Parker later told me, he said, the reason I hired you was first for your performance, and secondly is he looked me up online. And he saw what an activist I was, and he wanted people. This was the Nate Parker, the Nat Turner story starring Nate Parker, and it was about this man who had this incredible tenacity to fight the white slave owners.
Sure.
There was three of us: Jackie Earle Haley, myself, and Jason Warner Smith.
There's a character actor, Jackie Earle
murder.
Haley.
It's rape, murder, and torture. I was rape.
Okay.
Not to make a joke out of it, but I'm just saying I'm also a comic. That's who I was. Everybody had their three things, and
You don't need to worry about this group.
I know, but we're in this Me Too. You can't say, "Hey, where you going?" Me Too. You know,
This is a safe place.
what's wrong? I don't know. Time's up. what's happening with you? I'm going through a transition, and then you lose your penis.
can't
and
say
then,
anything. Yeah, you can't say
any
anything.
of those words anymore. They all mean something different. So one of the most, and there's so many things about Birth of a Nation. I could talk to you about this for an hour, because it was everything that I wanted all rolled up into one. It was being in a film that meant so much to me at the beginning of Black Lives Matter. This is the guy who started that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're right. Nat
Turner, Nate Parker.
Right,
I'm always getting this.
right.
Nat Turner started this, and he fought that. And you know, was he a martyr? Was he completely insane? Was he? Did he see? Was he just a clairvoyant? And he knew there's a scene in
Timing.
the movie.
Sometimes it's timing.
Yeah, but he knew that he was going to die. He knew they were going to kill him.
Okay.
You know, and if there's a scene in the movie where the revolution starts and he goes to his mother and he says, "Mom, it's starting," and he's smiling. And every time I saw the movie, I thought, why did he play the scene that way?
But isn't that great? He's getting it.
Because he knew that it was going to happen,
Yeah.
and that we you know,
Even if he's a casualty
yeah,
of the process, of the movement.
very much so, which is an incredible thing. And when so many things. When I saw the film, to prepare for it, I read the script once and I never read it again, because I couldn't comprehend what my character did. Even though I never physically did anything in the movie, it was talked about or seen. So I just played each scene with an action and played who that guy was and what he was. And I used the N-word as just like saying you're wearing a red top. And that's what you are.
Oh, without putting anything on it.
Yeah,
Right,
just the same thing. And when I saw the movie, I was completely I was doing that pig cry.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you know, and then I cried. That was the first cry. The second cry was, you know, because my scenes weren't cut. And then the third cry is that I got front card billing. Because I had an agent who wouldn't
I
fight.
love how you prepped it. You've got it all worked out. It's an emotional, sensitive story, and he's like, "But I got material worked in too. Don't worry."
Well, no, it's it's not material. It's the truth. It's
I
exactly
understand.
the truth.
I understand, but
it's
you've
just
also-
You're
it is
funny with how you present the
It
truth.
is funny.
Would you please come back sometime? We've already gone well over the hour. We're at
Oh,
an
we
hour
have?
16 already.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
But would you please come back
Please.
sometime?
Yes.
I love talking to you, and I we didn't talk about almost anything on the card. I just feel like we sort of got to know each other a little
Okay.
bit. I'd love to talk more if that's all right.
Yes.
If you're interested
I'm
still.
always interested.
Can I find out about your social media while I take an Instagram story?
For Instagram, it's the Jason Stewart, STUART. Twitter is Jason_Stewart, STUART. Facebook now is Facebook Jason Stewart TOO, because the Jason Stewart page is full. What's the other one? Is that the only one? I have LinkedIn and I have Tumblr, and
What do you use the most?
I use them all because you have to. You know, everybody.
Sure.
My older fans are more Facebook. My younger fans are more Instagram. My political fans are Twitter. But then it mixes all up.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific that we didn't get to that you wanted to talk about? You've got some dates coming up?
I've got July 13th in San Diego at Martini's Above 4th. June 13th. I'm sorry, June 13th.
June 13th in San Diego.
In San Diego. July 13th in Palm Springs at the Copa.
Oh, that's right. That's a big one.
And then May 19th at the Coach House. Funniest Housewives. I play the gayest housewives. It's a comedy show.
Okay.
I'm not a housewife or anything, but I'm the funniest house husband. It's just a theme show thing, so I'm in that.
And all these dates are on your website as well,
Everything
too,
is
right?
on my website.
JasonStuart.com,
Yeah.
STUART.
And I've got several films coming out. One's called Abducted, where I play Detective Walter. It's my first detective I've ever played.
Oh.
I walk in and I say things like, yeah. You need to move over there. Okay, yeah, it didn't happen. All right, next time. And I'm just slightly pissed off. I pretend I'm my brother because he's been pissed off since Glenda Jackson won the Oscar from Barbra Streisand in 1973.
God.
And then I'm in Immortal, where I play a private investigator with Sam Levine from Freaks and Geeks and Glorious
Sam
Dancers.
Levine, yeah.
It's
From
a
the
really
Kevin
great.
Pollak chat show as well.
Oh God, I've always wanted to do that show.
Me too.
I
Let's do it sometime.
yeah.
Let's just show up.
I would love to. He said I could do it one year. He said he would have me on. I met him at Sundance, and then I never heard back. Kevin, come on.
I think they do a bunch. I'm sure. I think that should happen.
One with my book. And my book is coming out in June. It's called Shut Up, I'm Talking.
So these next few months are big for you.
It's going to be a big
Yeah, there's a
thing,
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big
I got
summer.
a couple other movies that have smaller parts in.
It's going to be a good summer.
Yeah, I think so.
When are you coming
Oh,
back?
my film Hank. I forgot
Hello.
about it. Hank is I star in Hank. I play this.
Why mention it?
It's this film is going to be at Holly Shorts and Palm Springs International Film Festival.
Wow, it's already in?
And it's been in
Congrats.
like several others. And it's a little short film about this gay guy who has a relationship, and they're deciding whether they want it to be open or not. And it's really this sweet, a little bit dark film.
It's
And it's
wonderful.
gotten this incredible response, the biggest response I've had since Birth of a Nation.
Wow.
And it was the hardest part to play for me.
And who did they get to play the gay guy?
Oh, honey.
Honey, he's saying now. Now it's honey.
Honey, that show is so old. You know, oh, God. Are you still married to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be over now.
Nope.
At least one night, no sex.
Oh, you've got it now. Go ahead.
I could go on. I don't have a problem talking.
All right.
Shut up, I'm talking!
But you're coming back soon, I hope.
I hope so.
All right, good.
They always say that. Does that mean yes for real, or is that just
We-
talk?
It's up to
sort of?
we
you.
don't
we
bullshit.
don't. Yeah, there's no.
I'm kidding.
Okay, but it's
because
up
you
to
see that on the show. Hey, come back now, and then he's gone forever.
We don't do
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, if you would come back, we would love to have
Johnny
you
would
back.
say, "Come back again," and then I think, did he call him and say he's coming back? Did he? How did that work? Did Macaulay?
Freddie would do it.
Oh, Freddie or Macaulay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I would have
I
loved.
I love Macaulay too. Boy, that whole thing. And then, do you know Rick Overton by any chance?
Of course, I just spoke to him on the phone the other day.
Oh,
he's the
been
one
here.
he's the one
But
that
he played the Macaulay on that show.
Yes, he did on
Dying
Up
Up
Here. Because I said, hey, Rick, I'm getting older and things are just changing. What should I do? And he gave me the 411 and basically said, you get yourself together. You know, and he slapped me around and got
Love
me.
that.
Good.
He really, there's certain people that I call who have experienced it before me.
Yeah.
And I believe it's really important to go to your elders and, talk with them.
I really, really like you. I really, really
Yeah.
do. I can't tell what it is even yet. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm really not on my A game today. But I'm very fond of you, and I only can say it's probably energy because we don't really know each other that well.
Okay. Well,
Got
I hope
all
you
that
know
out.
some gay guy that will like me as much as you do because I just
Oh, I keep forgetting you're gay. Shit.
only on the weekends. I can't be gay every day. It's too hard. I mean, it starts on Friday. I really get in there on Saturday, and then on Sunday I lie down, and Monday, I'm just moving furniture with you.
With that, Mrs. Ryan, oh my gosh, tomorrow's a Good Vibes Breakfast Club up at Newcomb's Ranch. It's going to be a big one. You've heard us all talking about it. Brooke and the Kazman are going to be in town. Every Porsche person is going to be in town. And then Saturday is Luft 6, so that's the big deal going on this weekend. A lot of Porsche stuff
We made
this
it.
weekend.
We're getting there.
That's what's
Do you
going
want
on.
to know my
Big
favorite
weekend.
car before we go?
Yeah.
1968 Mercedes 280L. Is that it?
SL maybe?
SL, yes. I would like it to be beige with red interior
I love it. I love your taste.
and a convertible. Dinah Shore used to drive
They
that
had a
around.
hardtop or a convert. Yeah,
Oh,
both.
God, if I could have that car with a Prius motor inside of it, I just would be so happy. And I love Priuses. I drive one now. It's very quiet. The other day I backed up. I killed 2 people. I didn't even notice.
Fitting it all in. All right. Well, we love you, Jason Stewart. I'm not kidding about
Well,
that.
good night, everybody.
I love you, Mrs. Ryan. We
Love
love
you
you,
too.
Jason Stewart. We love all of you at home. Please love one another, and we will see you next week. Unless you're coming to Breakfast Club or Luft, we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody likes this. Publicly. All my jokes are real, too. Oh, I am.